What's good, everybody? I hope y'all are doing all right because listen, we already knew this episode was gonna end up locked behind Patreon. What I didn't expect at all was him teasing a whole clip of it over on YouTube too. Hold up, this man is really trying to funnel everybody over there to spend that full $25 subscription fee. I'm not even gonna front, seeing B. back in the building actually felt good to watch. And trust me, y'all already know I've been rocking with B. heavy from the jump. I always felt like he got unfairly pushed aside and low-key exiled from the conversation. From everything we saw publicly, he never really did anything crazy enough to deserve the cold treatment he was getting from the co-hosts. But according to all the Twitter Spaces gossip and rumors floating around, people keep saying Flip and Mona had major issues with B.'s delivery, confidence, and the energy he came in with. They apparently started getting irritated, like, bro, you're still new here, chill out with all that extra attitude. So now that all the rumors are finally bubbling to the surface, Joe already hinted that B. was making a return, and now here we are. And the first thing B. basically does is throw direct smoke at Mark the second he sits down. Meanwhile, Flip keeps stirring the pot by bringing up how Mark's supposedly going through things at home. And honestly, y'all can kind of see a different vibe from him lately. Trust me, I'm definitely gonna break all of that down because there's way more tension here than people realize. Also, y'all gotta give me a little grace because I'm still catching up on an entire week of stories and videos I missed while I was gone. So if some of these topics have already been talked about everywhere else, just know I still gotta put my own elevated spin and perspective on it. Flip already started cracking the door open too, by asking Mark straight up, everything good at home? So now imagine B. coming back fully loaded with ammo and aiming shots at Mark, Mona, Flip, and everybody else who allegedly didn't want him around anymore. The difference for B. though, is that his relationship with Joe runs way deeper than just podcast chemistry or industry networking. He said multiple times across different platforms that he and Joe have over 20 years of real history together. This wasn't some random friendship they built overnight while doing the show together. They've already worked side by side on multiple ventures long before any of this current drama existed. And honestly, I don't think some of those co-hosts fully understand the level of influence certain people can have with Joe once the cameras stop rolling. At the end of the day, money talks, and the bottom line is always gonna matter. But this situation goes way deeper than just podcast numbers because it's also about the relationships and industry connections Joe has built over the years, especially when it comes to Drake. Now listen, if I never admitted this before, I gotta keep it real with y'all today. I didn't even realize how much of a Drake fan I was until Kendrick started clearly gaining momentum in that beef. The second everybody started screaming, "Not like us," like it was the anthem of the decade, I was sitting there like, hold up, y'all really love this record that much? I'm not gonna lie, I genuinely couldn't stand the song, and it low-key irritated me seeing everybody run with it online. What really got under my skin even more was watching people instantly accept everything Kendrick was saying without questioning any of it. So when the pod started talking about Drake's new project, Tweet and I were the main ones really praising it, while the others sounded more cautious. It kinda hit me. Damn, Drake isn't disappearing anytime soon, which also means these platforms are going to have to keep covering him whether they want to or not. And if they keep going at him with non-stop negativity, eventually that smoke starts coming back. Because even though people love saying all publicity is good publicity, nobody wants to end up being the main target in one of Drake's records. Joe already tried to brush it off before by basically saying Drake isn't even chasing the same women he is, but that still doesn't mean you want to become the face of opposition against somebody moving through the industry like a wrecking ball. Academics and Joe have hinted at a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff too, but nah, I'm saving that part for another conversation because that's a whole different rabbit hole. Still, I did notice they covered Drake in a way more balanced and almost positive light this time around. And right after that, here comes the bounce back because they've definitely been upping the interviews and content lately. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna cover all of it myself because there's honestly so much happening at once. Even with those paywall episodes, Joe made sure everybody knew he was sitting at around 200,000 Patreon subscribers, and that's a huge flex no matter how you slice it. Meanwhile, Drake is clearly going through his issues with the industry while simultaneously feeding half the industry with content and conversation topics. And it's not just the people directly connected to him either, like Mal, Academics, or Ben Don. Literally everybody is eating off the Drake discourse right now. Girl, even my own brother got heated at me after my mic broke because he was saying this was the perfect moment for us to debate the Drake album, the Kendrick beef, and everything tied into that whole situation. And the crazy part is, my brother doesn't even care about making content like that, but even he understands this is the season where everybody can capitalize on the conversation. So honestly, I can't even be mad at Joe anymore for putting certain content behind the paywall, because if y'all remember, we all thought he was about to go completely overboard with it once he started locking major clips and controversial moments behind Patreon, especially after the negativity highlighted clips and even the basketball content started disappearing behind subscriptions. I was sitting there thinking, damn, this man is really about to make people pay for every little thing now. But the funny thing is, he actually never went fully in that direction. So whenever Drake drops an album, it almost feels like the entire machine around Joe's podcast instantly wakes back up, because their success has always been tied together in some way. As much as Drake tries to act like Joe doesn't matter to him, while still throwing little shots and sneak disses every chance he gets, the reality is these two names have been connected for nearly 2 decades now. Every major Drake era somehow circles right back to Joe, whether we're talking about the Views rollout, the Scorpion conversations, or basically any time Drake drops a project. And even though the podcast today feels more like a reality show mixed with industry drama and personalities clashing, people forget that the foundation of its biggest moments originally came from discussing the biggest artist in the world. Drake can't really control the fact that he became the center of the music industry conversation, and honestly, this is just another example proving that point. Now, the real question becomes whether Kendrick can consistently pull those same massive numbers and long-term engagement the way Drake has managed to do for years straight. But anyway, hold up. This is supposed to be a Joe Budden podcast breakdown, not me turning this into a full Drake deep dive. Appreciate everybody for watching, and make sure y'all subscribe to the channel because we definitely have more coming.